And joining us now is a very special guest. I'm joined by the Punjab Chief Minister, himself an army man and a military historian, Captain Amrinder Singh. Appreciate your joining us on what is a rather sad day. 20 of our soldiers who were brutally killed are being cremated as we speak across the country. They were killed in the Galwan Valley, Captain, with the Chinese allegedly using stones, nails and even clubs. Do you see the entire what's happened in Galwan as a complete betrayal by the Chinese or a political and military miscalculation, dare I say, a failure on the part of our leadership?
Well, I think both. I think, firstly, of course, it's a sad day. 4 of my boys from Punjab have also been a part of the 20, one from Himachal and the rest from other parts of the country. But wherever they may be, they are our soldiers. They are part of the Indian Army. And when any Indian Army soldier or officer is killed, obviously it's a very sad occasion. And this particularly, when it happened, I find it very strange to understand the system, because I was right after the 62 war, my regiment was also on the Chinese border. When I joined them in 63, we spent 2 years there. When we went out on patrol, we were fully armed. Everything was. So that's what a soldier is trained for. He's trained to use his arms.
Sure.
And what is this business of going and meeting people and throwing stones at each other and going back into the Stone Age?
So the Foreign Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, of course, clarifying now, he claims that the soldiers were armed. Although there's still no clarity on whether those arms were actually used, whether there was a firefight, still a lot of mystery around that.
Exactly. This is what I'm trying to say. This is firstly, it's 48 hours after the event that this statement has come to say that we're carrying arms. Number 2, when a colonel goes down, let me tell you, when in 65, when my colonel went down, the entire regiment went up with anger. And when you see your commanding officer killed, every soldier would have got up with his weapon and opened fire. I don't believe this. And number 2, if they were carrying arms, as Government of India is saying, then who was the number 2 officer there? Who took over when the colonel was killed? And if he did not give an order to fire arms, then I think he should be court-martialed. I mean, this is ridiculous. You get your boys hammered by clubs and stones and barbed wire and all this sort of thing, and you just watch the fun. If you have arms, you're supposed to use them. And I'm sorry of course, the Foreign Ministry has made this statement, but the fact of the matter is 48 hours after the event, 1. Secondly, why was this doing the rounds for the last 48 hours to say that they were not carrying arms? Suddenly we now give a statement to say they were carrying arms. And if they were carrying arms, why were they not used? And if they were not used, then somebody is responsible for not using them. So, if my soldiers are being shot, being beaten up by clubs, I would be the first one to give orders to open fire.
So who do you hold responsible, Captain Amrinder Singh? The military leadership on the ground in Ladakh or the political military leadership in the national capital?
Yes, it is a cock-up, and I think somebody should be held responsible. Now, firstly, we must know, was this order given for patrols in Kashmir, in the Ladakh area, not to carry arms? If so, why was it given and by whom? And that person should be held responsible for this. Now, you asked me the first question, what was the Chinese? Yes, it is the Chinese have betrayed us for a second time. The Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai finished in 62. And then we tried to make up, and we were on good terms with them in the hope that they are our neighbors and things would work out. And this is the second time they've done it. And now, not only that patrolling area which they are claiming, they are claiming the entire Galwan Valley. So this sort of thing, and I think there was a intelligence failure and an appreciation failure in 62, and the same is happening now. We are taking them for granted, and this is not a way that the country can move ahead. I mean, and that day, I want to know if arms were available and if fire support was available, why wasn't it used? I'm not talking about infantrymen carrying their own weapons, but if when you are up in that area and there's been a confrontation, you had artillerymen with you. These 2 JCOs who were killed were from 3 medium. It's a 155 howitzers which are there with them. What was that artillerymen doing there? They must have been an OP party. Why they could call for fire?
But there will be those, Captain, listening to you now who will say you are at the end of the day a Congress politician, opposition politician targeting the Modi government. Is this Captain Amrinder Singh, the politician speaking, or Captain Amrinder Singh, the soldier and military historian?
Look, I am not speaking as a politician here. I'm speaking as somebody who has seen my own organization, which I have a great love for, having to suffer this situation which it suffered. It's an insult to our army. It is an insult to me as a soldier. I mean, it's an insult to all of us here who are that we just take it lying down. What is this business of taking things lying down like this? They say the Chinese are stronger than us, then why the hell do you have a 1.3 million army sitting there? You've created, I remember in 62 it was okay, it was 114 Brigade, and 114 Brigade became 3 Div. 3 Div has become 14 Corps. Now you've got troops everywhere in large numbers. What are they doing sitting here? If General Sagat in 62 could, in this Jalipla and Nathula area, take on the Chinese, and in a 4-day artillery contest, and I think over 1,000 Chinese were killed for about 200 of our men, why couldn't this happen yesterday? Somebody is not doing his job, and they should find out who's not doing his job.
So how would you respond, therefore, to the Chinese now, Captain Amrinder Singh? Would you actually be urging the government of India to seriously consider the military option? Isn't it better to push for de-escalation through diplomacy and work with the Chinese authorities?
Well, firstly, don't trust the Chinese. I mean, everyone seems to be hugging them and making great show of them because they're a world power. Well, so are we a world power. If they are a nuclear power, so are we a nuclear power. Why should we always chicken out on this issue? I think the Prime Minister will have to, because the country expects some response. I as a young a person with not much experience in the army, I was only there for 10 years, but I also expect response. And I think our soldiers who are sitting there expect the government of India to act. What about these boys who are sitting on top of the mountains? They also expect that the government should stand by them and in this difficult hour. And why should 20 of my boys in this business of saying that they fell off the cliff, and what do you think, these are little babies going up the mountains? That they fell off the cliffs into the Galwan River and they drowned there and they got hypothermia. Before they go into the high altitude areas, I also served at 16,000 feet. You're acclimatized before being sent up. So these are not things that you make little puppy tails may sell elsewhere in the country, but certainly not in the defense services.
Strong words from Captain Amrinder Singh. You'll hear more from him later today. Thanks very much for joining us, Captain. For now, back to Rahul for the rest of the news.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.